Welcome, one and all, back to the VladCast.
And we're back.
It's been quite a long time. I think 6 months or so.
Yeah, it's so we just finished wrapping up the second season 6 months ago. And we were gonna make a massive season finale and start cranking out ideas for season 3,
and then obviously you guys all know, but the rain started. And it was relentless, and it just stopped maybe a couple days ago now.
And, everyone seems to be okay. The streets weren't flooding or anything, just like your typical rain, but it just never stopped. And
I didn't want to go outside and get wet. I don't want to bring an umbrella with me.
It's such a hassle.
It's annoying. And I had a puddle right outside my front door. I stepped in it.
I have an overhang, but I still didn't want to be out there. I just knew that, the water's going to drop, and you're going to be soaked, and then you're going to have to take a shower, and you don't even know the pH levels of that water.
That's a good point, too. I never even thought about the pH.
Is it acidic? Is it basic?
That's right. Yeah, if it's too acidic or basic, that could be bad news. But whatever. I'm glad we're back. It's good to be with you, Jerome. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, me too. It's good to walk outside and your hair stay dry.
Definitely. Definitely. And I think our fans are excited to see us back. With the VladCast today.
Oh, for sure. Shout out to Dan Lowe, our patron on Patreon.
We appreciate you, Dan Lowe. Your contributions are greatly appreciated.
And if you want to get on board that train, you can donate in the description.
Exactly. Thank you for plugging that. I always forget. But let's go into our first story here. It's I gotta get loose. It's
been way too long.
It's been way too long. But Jerome, you want to open up with the first story here? In the realm of sports.
Ben Roethlisberger, the famous quarterback for the Steelers, was put to death yesterday by lethal injection.
Right. So I guess just the background behind it. The city of Pittsburgh, they had some crazy, those crazy laws like you can't have a camel on Tuesday and whatever.
Oh, of course. No roller skates in Iran.
Exactly. So they're never enforced, but today, they're still on the books in Pittsburgh. There's a law about chewing gum. And chewing gum in the left side of your mouth and walking on a sidewalk on one foot on a Saturday when it rains. That was the exact statute of Pittsburgh City Council law that he broke a few months ago, and he was just put down yesterday.
It's been a tedious trial. It finally went to the Supreme Court, with Vince Vaughn on there, now they had the votes. And
Vince Vaughn basically signed the death warrant of Ben Roethlisberger.
It's the 10th NFL quarterback to be put to death this year alone.
Right. And they're never enforced, these laws in Pittsburgh. So that's why, or really anywhere, and that's why it was so surprising when they did put Ben, when they sentenced him to lethal injection.
I think that this was a targeted attack by the Eagles fan base. It's their state too.
They are nasty. And I think you're exactly right. I think the Eagles couldn't stand there being another football team in their state.
So, just like the Eagles, old Ben is flying now.
It's a beautiful way to put it.
So for our next big story, we actually have a special guest here. We had to fight Newsmax to get a hold of this one.
Right. Newsmax, Sportsmax, they control the whole media sphere, but thankfully we were able to get, so obviously it's about the election, lots of controversy around the election.
A lot of tension.
Yes, it appears that President-elect Howie Mandel is going to retake the office come January.
A lot of the country isn't 100% sure that Mr. Mandel has actually secured the 270 he needs.
And obviously his challenger, Craig McRobinson, fought a strong campaign. And Mr. McRobinson, we have you on the line. Are you there, Mr. McRobinson?
Hello, I'm right here.
Okay, great. So obviously you have been doing the whole media tour talking about how this election was rigged. Can you tell us a little more?
Yeah, so, it's clear as day if you look at really anything about the election. There's no way I possibly could have lost. Howie is a joke. But, if you went to any of those polling places, there was characters, there was people voted multiple times, casting fake ballots. It was ridiculous.
And what do you mean by characters?
Yeah, elaborate on that.
Oh, of course. I mean, caricatures. You know, when I was over at the voting place, my apologies, in Massapequa, I saw Mickey Mouse voting there.
So this is an incredible claim that you're making for the first time on the VladCast, that you saw fictional characters casting ballots.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think that was so surprising. I mean, I'm surprised that the pictures aren't all over the interweb.
You know, now that you mention it, I think when I was out there polling, I did happen to come across Sir Topham Hatt from Thomas the Tank Engine, and he was in my polling station.
See, I mean, this is the type of problems that Howie just allows to constantly come up in his administration. It's a joke.
And what do you say to the phonies out there who say that you should concede the election and just admit that Howie won? What do you say to them?
I say that they are phonies. That they are plebeians, I would even say. I mean, real people voted for me. I mean, good people. Hank Smith, Charles Manson.
Right, you've got a coalition.
Exactly.
They're real people.
I don't have animated characters voting for me. I have real human beings.
And let's, I'm going to be frank here, Craig. I'm a supporter. I had a full beard the morning of the election. I went into my polling place. I voted in Massapequa. Guess what? 3 p.m., I'm such a big supporter. I shaved that same beard and I voted again. They didn't even recognize me. You have the type of support that wins elections.
Thank you. That is what I'm talking about. You were a real person. You were a real person with that beard. You were a real person without that beard. And that is the type of Massapequa that I believe Craig McRobinson can promote, that Craig McRobinson can manage, that Craig McRobinson can really make prosper.
And I'm all for it. Make America dank again. I would like to see, come January, a greener Massapequa.
Thank you. I mean, the 2016 Make America Trip Again, that campaign clearly fell a little bit short. So, I thought with the 2020, with this new rendition, that we could really go somewhere with it.
So, let me ask, Craig, are you on substances right now?
Oh, of course.
Oh my God, I'm so honored. That's amazing.
This is great.
Wow.
I mean, how could I not come on to the VladCast without being on at least a handful of substances, from the stimulants, the depressants, and a few little gray areas in between?
And that's where we pride ourselves. Joe Rogan makes you feel inclined, but we make it mandatory.
Exactly. I mean, Joe, great promoting DMT, but I mean, there's some real stuff that I think he should open up to.
I mean, Craig McRobinson just speaking the truths. We really appreciate it, Craig. So last piece of news here is that recently the phony sham Supreme Court has rejected your bid to declare Craig the ultimate leader of the country, and Massapequa included. Do you have anything to say about those Supreme Court justices?
I mean, the Supreme Court is a joke. I mean, why do we even have 13 justices? It doesn't make sense. I think we should really bring it down to just one, and that's Craig.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think Mendel's appointment of Vince Vaughn earlier last year really...
it's favoritism.
It's favoritism.
It's ridiculous.
Thank you.
This is partisanship.
Right, and Howie Mandel, and for the next 4 years, we're going to see Vince Vaughn at the head of every single, White House briefing and everything. I've seen him enough, okay?
I know. Who wants to see Vince Vaughn on the front of the Supreme Court Christmas card every year?
I certainly don't.
I don't either. Well, Craig, I think that's why we wish you the best here from the VladCast. We're going to be out voting for you again whenever that is possible.
Well, thank you.
Hopefully the rain stops for long enough for us to go out.
For us to get outside. I will give my life for you, Craig.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad to hear that the VladCast are such big supporters, since I'm such big supporters of yours.
Wow, that's powerful.
That's something. We're going to have to pray upon that. Thank you so much for calling in, Craig. May you trip forevermore.
Zeus bless America.
Keep tripping, everybody. Keep tripping.
Wow. It is such an honor to talk to a movement figure like Craig.
People can say that political challengers come and go, but I think this is one for the books.
Right, I think he's going to stay, and frankly, I think he's going to rule for the rest of his life. I hope so.
For sure. I really hope that he just flips this democracy upside down.
So moving on to pop culture here, some of you folks may have seen this, especially you True Jackson VP fans, but Keke Palmer has been casted in the MASH reboot.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting news. It was reported by Access Massapequa last night, and I'm pretty excited for this. You know, she's going to be joining the ranks of Trapper John.
It's true. So she's about 70 years younger than all of her cast members. Obviously, you guys remember the news. MASH has been rebooted, the Korean War drama from the 70s. With all the same cast, and we thought it was all going to be the same cast until today when we got this news about Keke Palmer joining the cast.
And, you know, it's going to be very interesting to see how they...
the dynamic.
The dynamic. I mean, Hawkeye and all the other characters. You know, it's a show all about this, like, medical staff, and, you know, they're curing the Korean War with laughter and humility. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with this whole 30 years later, Afghanistan kind of take on the show.
And there were some leaked documents, too, where it said that Keke Palmer is playing the part of a traveling trapeze artist.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting.
That's a rumor, of course. I mean, we don't know if that's true.
If that is true, though, like...
It makes sense.
What kind of... It does. It blends well with the cast. You know, they could have cast her as another doctor, but I don't think it would have worked as well. You know...
Maybe.
Think about all they can do with, like, a trapeze accident arc.
That's a great... I bet they're going to do that, too.
That's 6 seasons right there.
Yeah, 6... I mean, she's an incredible actress, too.
Oh, very talented.
My left daughter, she loved True Jackson, so... we're excited to see that going on. But, of course, we don't... we don't want to get trapped up in the pop culture news. Obviously, staying home because of the rain over the past year has really... it's made a lot of people dependent on the internet, social media. Have you dealt with that, Jerome?
Yeah, I've been on social media for quite a bit during this past year with all this rain.
Right, you're stuck inside. It's so easy just to scroll,
I've been on the Instagram, Twitter, a little bit of the Tinder.
Okay.
And I've been trying my best to keep social in a unsocial time. Yeah,
it's so hard, and it's like you're isolated from people. It's almost like you're distanced from people socially. You know what I mean?
I totally get what you're saying. Like
it's almost like a social distancing sort
almost
of thing.
like you're more than 6 feet apart, and
definitely. Well, at
definitely
least
more than 6
feet
apart.
Maybe 6 miles apart at some points.
Yeah, I mean.
But it's hard. The point being, it's hard to meet people. It's hard to get out. But Jerome, you were telling me earlier you got out. You met somebody last night.
You're gonna make me blush here. I didn't know I was gonna have
I didn't want
to talk about this story on air, but I mean,
suppose. Well, I mean, you were telling me about it the past week. You were texting me, and you seemed really excited about it. I don't want to put you on the spot, but did you mind maybe talking about it a little bit?
Well, recently I met someone.
Okay.
It came out of nowhere. It was unexpected. And
how did you meet them? Was it on an app or?
Oh yes, it was on this new app called S'mores.
Okay.
And it's just a dating app, and yeah, one thing led to another, and I think I might have met the love of my life.
Now you are married. Is your wife okay, or what does she think?
Well,
does she know?
It's difficult to say.
Jerome.
Jerome,
did you tell your wife?
Well, my wife is an avid listener to these podcasts, Vlad, so that makes this a little awkward. But yes, we've had a discussion, and I didn't know we were going to make it public business, but my wife is in on it as well. And the person we have met, their name...
Okay, well, we don't need to out them, right? We don't need to say their name or anything. But do tell me, what did you guys do last night? I know you went on... Did you go on a date last night?
We did. I picked them up, and we drove in my Toyota Prius.
Right.
All the way down to the Sonic.
Mm-hmm. The Massapequa Sonic.
The Massapequa Sonic, notorious hangout spot for teens and all ages. I like to think that I'm still considered among their ranks,
right?
Even though I'm starting to gray a little bit.
They call it the makeout spot of Massapequa.
Oh, for sure. You can't really go into 2 parking spots away without seeing a teen, doing the dirty.
I I've never seen that, actually.
Oh, well,
I was talking more like modest, kissing and maybe holding hands.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. What do you think I meant?
So what'd you get from Sonic?
Oh, well, I got one of those blasts, the Baja Blasts.
Right.
And they're very good. I enjoy them. They have that nice little zingy taste. Surprisingly, they didn't order anything, which, I think was a good sign, saves me some money, saves them some money.
How did the date go? What did you guys talk about?
Oh, well, we started talking about rocket science. And, it's a passion of mine.
Sure.
I don't really know much about it, but it's a passion of mine. And I was just talking about how improbable it could possibly be to propel a missile with someone inside of it to the moon.
You don't think that's possible?
I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's happened. I don't think it will ever happen.
I mean, personally, I'm with you. But was what'd your date think?
Well, they agreed. I mean, they were silent after I said it, but, it wasn't a no. They didn't disagree. So it seemed like there was a little bit of head movement to signal, yeah, it happened.
It seems that it's a little weird that someone was so quiet about this issue. It's not...
Yeah, they didn't move much. That was something I might have noticed.
Okay. So did you drop them off after the date?
Or? Oh, no. Well, we, continued to drive around for a while.
Did you bring him back to your place?
Well, I brought him back to the apartment building, and, they sat in my car for a while. I was like, okay, come on up. You want to come up? And once again, silence. There wasn't a no. There wasn't, there might have been slight movement. I don't know. I mean, they just sat in the car, so I was finally like, so you know what? I'm just going to drive you home. And
all right. That's nice.
So I drove him home, and...
Well, it sounds like they weren't having a good time.
Well, no. I mean, it was never, I was never told that they weren't. There was no, body language that was specifically saying, hey, this person's not having a good
sounds...
time.
I mean, I might be wrong here, but it sounds almost like they were just like a lifeless, corpse.
Oh, no. I've never felt more alive, so I can't imagine that.
No, see, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about your date. It seems like they were just motionless.
Oh, I think you could say stone cold, but I think I saw some emotion in those eyes.
So is there going to be a second date?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Awesome. What are you guys going to do?
Well, they're still in my car outside in the parking lot, actually.
Nice.
If you want to meet them.
Maybe after the third date.
I mean, I don't want to spook them too much.
Yeah, you don't want to scare them or anything. Take it slow. But that's so nice. She's waiting outside in the car for you.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be very good. I hope it doesn't get too cold in there. And
I think in the new the Priuses, they have the thing that says "Don't worry, I'm okay." If someone's in the passenger seat when the car's off.
Oh yeah.
So people aren't gonna bash the window or anything.
I mean, I put up a sign. I say my date's just sleeping. Do not disturb.
That's very chivalrous of you.
Hey, I'm a good guy.
You're a good guy.
I treat people well.
You're right about that, Jerome. And that's about it for us. For the first episode of Season 3 of the VladCast. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in again.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. We hope to be making more of these, and...
we love it. I mean, this is really one of, our favorite things to do.
We pride ourselves on telling the truth and, really getting some real life stories out there.
You're absolutely right about that, Jerome. I mean, hell, we recorded the whole second season.
Yeah, I mean, it's out there, and...
well, it's somewhere.
Somewhere. You just have to look hard enough.
Right, it's on a domain that we actually don't know the name of, and it's the title of the video clips on the website. It's just a bunch of scrambled letters. So I guess they're functionally lost to us until we can find those. Lost episodes. Yeah. Maybe we'll find them one day. Who knows? Maybe, who knows? But until that day, we're going on with Season 3. We're excited to be back, folks, and we appreciate your listening. And good night.